What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Shooky from Shook Earth Media, and today we are talking about a new show on AMC Plus called Cooper's Bar, and I think we can use this show to understand a little bit about what the executives could have possibly been thinking with the Slippin Jimmy disaster that we discussed in a previous episode. I think we can use this show to get a little bit of insight on that situation. But this show itself, we're going to be talking about it. It's called Cooper's Bar. It's a sitcom. It's got Rhea Seehorn in it, also known as Kim Wexler in Better Call Saul, but she's not playing the same character. She's playing a new character. As you can see on the screen, we got Chris Latimer is her name, TV executive, biggest dick in Hollywood. We'll get into the story on that, but I wanted to cover this because it's tangentially related. It's got Rhea Seehorn, and of course we covered the previous disaster on AMC Plus that was Slippin Jimmy. So it feels in my wheelhouse to cover this show. So if you want to see more coverage of AMC shows, we cover Better Call Saul and Walking Dead and a bunch of other stuff too. So if you're into any of that kind of stuff, definitely keep it locked on Shook Earth Media. Hit the sub button and comment down below. Would love to hear from you and like and all of that. But let's just jump into it. We're going to go beat by beat a little bit and just explain a little bit about the show. It's called Cooper's Bar, and we got Chris Latimer as a TV executive. The biggest dick in Hollywood. She's a completely different character from Kim. She's very narcissistic and self-centered and all of that, and it's a parody of Hollywood in a way, and that's what I like about this show. So we got this guy Cooper who has this bar, and the whole show is about selling the idea of a show called Cooper's Bar to TV executives. This is a guy who has been in low-key acting in Hollywood for a long time and hasn't been very successful, never hit it big, but he's moderately successful, but he's trying to sell his life story as a TV show, and he of course wants to star in it. And we have the guy on the left here who is the wannabe screenwriter. So it's a lot of people with big dreams, but they're still connected with what the average person's life is like because they're living normal jobs. The guy on the left is a mall cop. So it's a show about the dichotomy between average people and Hollywood, and it makes fun of themselves. It's self-referential. I think that's why I kind of like it. A lot of people that I've worked with are kind of represented on the show in the sense of, like, I've worked with a lot of indie actors and a lot of people trying to hit it big that just, like, really are always going forward with the artistic thing. So there's a lot of stuff you're going to recognize if you've ever worked on a film set, or especially an indie film, or been working your way up and just, like, had fun projects with some actor friends. If you're an actor, it's going to be very familiar. So that's something that was a lot of fun for me, was seeing the play between the average people and the Hollywood executives. And the Hollywood executives are total jerks, and they are completely insufferable, just make everything about themselves. It's a lot of it's entertaining self-satire. I enjoy it. I appreciate Hollywood with a little bit of self-awareness about what's going on and the elitism that goes on, and poking a little fun at that is a lot of fun. I will say this first episode, a lot of the jokes weren't landing for me. I didn't really like this show until further episodes, but it didn't necessarily I didn't think it was bad or anything, but I didn't really enjoy the show until I get to see a little bit more of what the point is. But this guy wants to be a director, so again, playing with that whole theme of the big dreams, never quite making it. He's an Uber driver, so it's an underdog story basically, and they're trying to pitch this show as a show about a bunch of losers. So it's an enjoyable premise. I like the premise of him trying to be an actor and trying to sell the show. So we got this cast of characters. We got the wannabe actor, the wannabe director, the wannabe screenwriter, and they're hanging out in this guy's, Cooper's, backyard, basically. And he's got it set up like a bar, and the executives keep coming in, and they're just completely out of touch, just very elitist. She brought this cauliflower stuff that's supposed to be this vegan chicken wings, and she comes in and says, your pitch is great. It reminds me about myself. And then she just talks and talks and talks for a long time, and a lot of funny, like, little jokes. I mean, she's talking about her ayahuasca trips and self-actualizing and all this stuff, but she's really just a narcissist. So, I mean, how enlightened could she really be? So I really like that they're poking fun at Hollywood, and I appreciate it. And they're trying to get him to sign this contract and sign his life rights away. And then Amy Schumer, a famous actor, is going to play his character. She's going to play him. So that's kind of funny, but of course he's not in support of that. He won't do it. And then he has this epic speech. This is pretty much the moment I was like, okay, I like this show now. Is he goes on this big rant about how out of touch LA is, and how he longs for his hometown of Buffalo and just being in touch with normal life, everyday life, and what that's really like. And he goes on this long soliloquy about that. And then at the end of it, the studio executive applauds, thinking he's giving a performance or pitching or something, and then says, "Oh, we have to cast you in it." So that's the setup here, and I like I love that speech. It's very well done. So up until this point, in the first episode, the jokes weren't landing for me, but by the end of episode 2, I'm really into the situation, and the jokes start landing more once I understand who the characters are, and it's not just a bunch of references. The first episode is mostly like references and some like little political jokes and stuff like that, and it's just but as it went and it became more about the situation and the absurdity and the escalating is comedy of errors going on that results in all of this. So it's really funny. I mean, he's like, "Oh, I need headshots," and the mall cop guy brings a photo booth. So it's a very hyperbolic, silly, fun show. So that's why I say this show is entertaining. I like it. We don't really have to go too much deeper into it than that. And Rhea Seehorn it's fun to see her play somebody that she's not. And I like all these actors by the end. And they set up this very ludicrous situation towards the end of the episode where, at the end of the series rather, where the big executive comes in and they're trying to, of course, Rhea Seehorn's character is trying to convince him not to cast Cooper and to go with Amy Schumer, and the other executive is on Cooper's side. So it's a fun climax where the studio executive, the big one, says, "You guys are going to have a hot wing eating contest. Whoever can eat the hottest hot sauce basically wins and gets to do with the show what they like." So it sounds kind of cliche and ridiculous, but there's just like an earnestness to the show, and like the characters are genuine. Like I already said, they're poking fun at Hollywood, being self-referential, being a film about filmmakers made by people who are probably similar to the people in it. So I would say this show is a little bit more in touch with your average person than what I might expect from a lot of Hollywood productions nowadays. So it's just trying to be fun, harmless content. And for that, I appreciated it. I had a good time with it. Rhea Seehorn's acting in this was good. And I gotta say, I'm pretty sure they did this final shot here in a continuous take back and forth. And I think Rhea Seehorn directed this. That's not easy to direct or shoot or act. You have to do a lot and keep a lot in your mind. There's even like people in the background commenting on what's going on, and it's actually like makes sense. So that's something like this being a small budget thing, it looks like a passion project to me. I have to say that doing that is impressive. I mean, it's not like they have the biggest budget in the world. So I just want to point out that I like that continuous take there for what is essentially like a webisode. You could see longer films made for YouTube. So that's what I want to get into with this show and the connection to Slippin Jimmy that we were hinting at earlier in this video. So where the common ground comes in between this and Slippin Jimmy is that these are short form episodes, 10 minutes or less, 6 of them, and it's made by this production company, a brand label called AMC Content Room. And I think that this is just to provide short form content to people who already subscribe to AMC Plus. They are assuming that you're probably watching AMC Plus for Walking Dead, for Better Call Saul, one of their bigger shows, and they want to give you more value, and they think that it's easier to entice you to watch a short form thing than to invest a lot of time into a full series. So I'm speculating that that's where the thought process is. We want to make short content that encourages people to watch. It's entertaining enough that they will enjoy it, be entertained by it, quickly move through the next episode, and it's something that will make them feel like they're getting a little bit more value out of AMC Plus. So you're not going to subscribe for small shows like this, but the fact that something like this comes out, the fact that the Dead in the Water Walking Dead show was on here too, they're trying to provide more value for AMC Plus and really build that up. So I don't know that I would recommend somebody get AMC Plus for this show or anything like that. I actually think it's available on their YouTube channel, so I would say just watch it there. But that's where the thinking was coming in. I think with the Slippin Jimmy thing, AMC is just like, we want short form, harmless, fun content, comedy, probably, that's not something really deep. We don't really want anything all of that artistic. We just want something that's fun, that you throw on for 10 minutes, enjoy, and then move on to the next thing. That's what it is. So we're looking at it as Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad fans and thinking, what does that franchise need? That franchise just needs to finish the show and then probably not rush into something right after, because we don't really have a vacancy that needs to be filled with that franchise. So as fans, we're looking at that as an affront. But AMC is just looking at it as an opportunity to use their brand to promote this other brand that they want to do short form content on AMC as promotional thing. So I think we can understand a little bit more what they're thinking about with Slippin Jimmy now that we see this show. And I bet that they're doing more of this. They probably got more of this content room stuff in the pipeline. So I'm expecting we'll see more like this. We might even see more Better Call Saul related stuff. I just hope that they up the ante and put a little bit more into the writing if they do that again. But honestly, I'd like to see a season 2 of this. If you want to do more stuff like this, I really appreciate it. These episodes are really short, but they felt like a full story. It felt like a full 20-minute sitcom episode. So I like this show. I think it's enjoyable, fun actors. It's it's not the most amazing thing ever, but it's enjoyable. So I just wanted to balance out my negativity with my previous Better AMC Plus video with the Better Call Saul Slippin Jimmy. And I want to counterbalance that with something a little bit more positive. So that's what we're doing here. Definitely keep it locked on Shook Earth Media though, because we are going to be back with Dark Winds. That is coming out on Sunday. I'm probably going to be a little late for that review, but I'm going to be reviewing that, and we're going to have a video coming up soon about more content on AMC Plus that I've been researching in the background, watching a bunch of their original shows to do this video for you guys about what content on there is worth watching and what isn't. And I hope to see you guys there. So definitely keep it locked on Shook Earth Media. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace out, everyone.